channel, and if you are new here, hey, welcome to my channel. I'm so happy you're here. So for today's video, I'm putting up my review on the Morphe Fluidity collection. I bought everything, well, pretty much everything. I've got the primer, the foundation, concealer, and the powder. So I'm pretty much all set. I'm ready to give you guys my first impressions, my review, what I think about it, what an honest opinion is. I bought all of these products with my own money so you guys can trust my review. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts, my first impressions, and how it feels on the skin. And I'm just going to let you guys know the tea.
The tea is hot, honey.
On this foundation, whether or not you should buy it. It is really affordable, so that is a plus. All of this was like $50-ish, which actually isn't that bad. One high-end foundation can be $50, so it's actually a pretty good price for all of that stuff. Yeah, so if you guys want to know what my thoughts are on the Morphe Fluidity collection, then make sure you just subscribe down below. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe before we get the video started, and hit the little notification bell right beside it so you can be notified every time I upload content. So yeah, if you guys want to see what my thoughts are on this foundation, then just keep on watching and we'll go ahead and get started. So I did do my research on this foundation before I started like this whole process. I have watched a few other reviews, not a lot, and I did do, some reading on the website. So this is a really matte foundation. So if you have dry skin like me, it's going to be extremely important to moisturize. This is supposed to be super matte and super full coverage, so it's going to be really important for us dry skin girls to moisturize heavily if we want this to look good on our skin. Matte foundations can work for everyone if you just know how to apply the product and make it work for your skin. So I'm going ahead and moisturizing with my Garnier Fructis Moisture Balm. This is my everyday moisturizer. It feels super good on the skin and it's really affordable. And I'm just going to rub this in because I need to be hydrated in order to make this matte foundation work for me. To add a little extra moisture, I'm going in with the Milani Prep and Brighten Rose Face Oil. This is such a good oil. Really hydrates the skin and it smells super good. And this is just going to be for a little extra moisture for this foundation. If you have oily skin, all of these steps aren't necessarily necessary for you, but since my skin is so dry, I definitely have to make sure that I am nice and hydrated before I go in with a matte foundation. To finish off priming for this foundation, I'm going in with the Tatcha Silk Canvas. This is really hydrating as well, but it also really fills in the pores and makes everything look pretty much airbrushed. I literally love this primer. It is my go-to. It's pretty expensive, but I think it's worth it because it does have skincare in it. And it just makes your makeup glide on perfectly. Okay, so let's get into the moment we've all been waiting for. I'm going in with the Morphe Fluidity Foundation. I'm in the shade F1 Honestly, shade matching online is extremely difficult. So what I didn't like was some foundations, when you order them online, they give you the option to pick a different brand of foundation that you have, and the shade that you have in that different brand, and it'll shade match you to, like, say a Morphe foundation. It'll show you what shade you should get. They didn't have that, so it was actually really hard for me to pick the foundation shade. This was light neutral with pink undertones, which is pretty much what I am. I'm really hoping this works for me. If it doesn't though, they did send a little like sample packet of the Fluidity foundation, so I can make something work if this isn't the correct color for me. I haven't even opened this up. It's brand new. I wanted to save it for you guys. You're getting my first impression of this foundation. It comes out a little bit liquidy, but we'll see. This might be way too much. I don't know. Going in with this on a Morphe sponge. Just going to start tapping it in. Oh, this is actually a really good shade match for me. It might be a little light, but it actually looks pretty good. It's actually a really good shade match for me. Pretty proud of myself. It's a pretty good shade match, yeah. Going on really nicely and really blending into the skin nicely. Okay, so that was just one little squeeze and I've covered the entire half of my face, and there's still a ton left on my hand, so that's a really good sign. It is definitely really matte, so if you're not into that kind of foundation, you might not like it, but I think it looks really pretty on my skin. In person, it doesn't look as light as it does right here, so I don't know what the deal with that is, but in person, it's actually a pretty perfect shade match for me, which is fantastic. So one full squeeze got about this much of my face done. I'm going in with another little, like, not even a half a squeeze to do the forehead and neck, because this is really full coverage. I'm getting a lot of coverage for what little product I've had to use. So this is one layer of the foundation. I think it looks really beautiful. It's definitely matte. I would compare it to like a Fenty foundation with how matte it is. But I actually really like how it went on my skin. It's a very full coverage, like covered up all of my blemishes, which is super important to me. I love to have a full coverage cake face on. This is actually, like, first impression, like just putting it on, I really like it. It is a little bit drying, and that's just because it is a matte foundation. It's not something that's unbearable. It didn't really pick up on any of my dry patches. But again, something that's really important when dealing with matte foundations like this is to prep your skin with moisturizer and hydration. So I think that that really helped. This would be really great with people that have oily skin, because this really just sucked it in there and it took away all my oil. I think that this retails for $18, which is a little bit more expensive than like a regular drugstore foundation, but it's still an awesome price. Like most high-end foundations go from like $30 to $50, so I think that's a really like great price for the amount of coverage that you get. It does come with 1 fluid ounce, which is about average for most foundations. Packaging isn't that great. It's just regular packaging, but that doesn't really matter to me. If the foundation works, then I don't really care about the packaging as long as it works and it looks good on my skin. So first impression of this is that I actually really like it. Obviously won't know how much I like it until like I go throughout a whole day and wear it, so I'll let you guys know on that. I'll keep you updated, but first impression, this is a pretty great foundation. I totally forgot to use the primer that I bought specifically for this video. What? It's okay, I'll keep it. I'll put it to the side. I'll put it in my next video and let you guys know what my thoughts are. Sorry, I forgot it was there. I got too excited. It's fine, no big deal. I'll let y'all know what my thoughts are on this, like, next time. So now I want to go in with the concealer. This is in the shade C1.35. Just comes in a regular little concealer tube. This has 0.15 fluid ounces, which I guess is pretty average. I like the packaging better on the concealer than I do the foundation, but again, packaging doesn't really matter to me. It's not that big of a deal. It's got a nice flat applicator. Pretty similar to like a ColourPop applicator or a Cali Cosmetics applicator. Just a little bit longer. So I've heard the research and all of that this is super full coverage, so I'm going to start out with a little bit and we will build up the coverage if need be. Also, like how I said, I'm going to go in with a little bit of this and then absolutely did not go in with a little bit. Alright, let's blend this out. This does have really good coverage on it, guys. That's really great coverage. It covered up all of my dark circles, all of my under eye bags. It's pretty good so far. My eyelid is stained pink from a look I did earlier, so don't mind that. we're just going to cover it up with this concealer. The concealer blended out really nicely. It's very, very full coverage. I don't really see it settling into my lines that bad right now. Obviously, I am going to set it. I always set my concealer, but right now it looks pretty good. So I'm not going to use the powder from the collection to set my under eyes because it does have some color to it and some pigment. So I'm just going to use a translucent powder to set my under eyes and my nose and everywhere I highlighted. And then I'm going to use the foundation powder and I'm going to set the rest of my face. To set my under eyes, I'm just going in with the ColourPop translucent powder. This has been one of my favorite recently. Another key thing to remember when you're using a matte foundation like this and you're setting your makeup is not to bake if you have dry skin like me, because it's just going to make it feel even heavier and worse on your face. So you really just want to place the powder like into the skin, really just buff it in there without baking, because it's going to keep everything set, but it's not going to make your face feel like crusty and dusty and gross. So now that my under eyes are set, I'm going in with the Morphe Filter Effect Finishing Powder in the shade Filter 2. This is like a foundation powder. Comes with a little sponge. I have used this already to like touch up my makeup throughout the day, and I've actually really enjoyed it. Today is going to be the first day that I actually use it to set some of my makeup. I'm actually just going to use the sponge that came with it because it's pretty good. Looks just like this. And I'm going to put this on the rest of my face. I'm actually going to use a different brush. I'm just going to use this little fluffy brush right here and dip into the powder and just set the rest of my face. This does have some pigment to it, so keep that in mind if you guys pick this up. It is going to add pigment to your face. Go ahead and set my neck as well. Since my skin is so matte right now, I am going to go in with a little bit of MAC Fix Plus just to add some hydration back into it because I am so dry. So that is all of the products that came with the Morphe Fluidity collection, minus the primer because I kind of forgot to use it. But so I'm going to do the rest of my makeup and then come back and give you my final thoughts and my first impression of this entire collection. Okay guys, so I'm back with the rest of my makeup on, and honestly, everything blended on top of the foundation and powder really, really beautifully. I think my makeup looks really good. I am really matte, so if you're not into really matte skin, you might not like the way this looks, but I actually think it looks really beautiful. I think the most important thing to remember when using this foundation is to prep your skin accordingly. So if you have oily skin, it's really not as big of a deal for you to go in with a moisturizer and oil and like a bunch of different skincare products. But if you have dry skin like me, and you want to wear a more matte foundation like this one right here, it is really important that you prep your skin and you moisturize and you use oils and you just make sure that your skin is extra hydrated before you go in with this product. I haven't had this on for very long, but I can already tell that this is going to be super long wearing. The foundation is so full coverage, the concealer is so full coverage, the powder looks really beautiful on the skin. It really added a nice blurring effect, got rid of all my pores. I honestly think that this is a really great collection. I'm sorry I forgot to use the primer. I'll make sure to use it in another video. Sorry. I just kind of forgot it was there. I used my Tatcha primer so much that I just kind of went for that one. But for the price of everything, like I said, I got all 5 products for like $50, which is a really great price considering that you can get a high-end foundation for $50. So all in all, my first impression of this foundation and this whole collection is really, really positive. I think they're all great. I'm obviously going to have to play around with it some more, wear it for a little bit longer, and just get a feel for it. But honestly, my first impression is that my skin looks beautiful. These products work great, and for the price, you really can't beat it. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys like this video and you like when I do reviews. I really wanted to get this out there because this is a really hyped up product right now on like Instagram, and it's got 60 shades, like everybody was talking about it, so I wanted to purchase it and really put my opinion out there. I think it's a great foundation and a great collection. I think that if you want a good, affordable matte foundation for like when you're going out and you know you're gonna have makeup on for a long time, I think that this is a really great choice. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure that you give this video a big thumbs up and you subscribe down below. Hit the little notification bell while you're at it, because I upload 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and you really don't want to miss out on that. So make sure you hit the little notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload content. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.